How to get a business loan for a food truck, same day, instant approval with as little as a 450 plus FICO credit score. Hi, welcome in. My name is Michael from Viral Funding Solutions. And in this video, I am thoroughly going to walk you step by step the process of getting a business loan effectively for your food truck, or whether you're just starting and unsure of where to go. You've been declined time and time again. You've tried to go through the banks and it hasn't worked for you. You can't reach deeper into your savings, whether it's completely depleted or you cannot withdraw because you want to save that for a rainy day, for maybe your kids' college tuition or a vacation and so forth, and you can't turn to your friends and family for help anymore. But before I get started, if this is the first time you're watching me, I do come out with content like this on all small business loans for various different industries, cash advances, building business credit the right way, and many different opportunities for you to take advantage of online. So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so and click that bell notification icon so you don't miss any future videos I will be coming out with. Let's get right into this. So there's a process to all of this. To get a business loan, you have to understand that if you've tried going through the banks, or if you have a thought that it works similarly online as the banks do, you, for the most part, with the bank, will be asked for some type of collateral, some type of real estate, right? Within that, some type of an equity, home equity. We talk about equity lines of credit and and other purposes as well. But for the most part, you would expect that. And you are also asked for higher revenue, right? They won't fund somebody who is low in revenue. It's not consistent cash flow, doesn't have enough taxes to support the business. And then, all these profit and loss statements and these financials that are asked for and so forth. And then you don't have the right type of credit score, right? It's not high enough to qualify for what you're wanting. And then the time in business, TIB for short, you don't have it. And so it could be one or it could be all of them. And so you're led to think, okay, what can I do online? And maybe you've looked in other places. Maybe I'm not the only YouTube video you've watched, but it will be the video where you do get a comprehensive look. I'm not just showing you a program where somebody's like, just go and apply here or go check this out. I actually thoroughly like to take the time to educate my audience on the steps before they go and submit an application. So much so that I have this free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist that walks you thoroughly through each step, what you must know before you walk into an application, and with 110% confidence and certainty that you will be approved without wasting days, weeks, months, and even years of going through information that isn't credible. It was worth years ago, it doesn't work today, or it's just a scam, right? This is very helpful to you, so make sure you pick this up down below in the description. And I'll also leave a business loan contact form for any business or real estate financing. If you want to get a hold of me, that's going to be one of the fastest way to do so I can analyze and evaluate what I need to do to help give you your option and options. So banks, collateral, real estate, high revenue, credit, time in business, and there's more things that they require. But when you're going online, you come in here with the question, as we see here, what do I need to have? What documents? What are the requirements? Maybe you've seen it. Maybe you are in the shopping phase. You're comparing other services. Maybe you have a certain amount you want, and I'm going to cover that in a moment, so stick with me. And so when you look online, there are these secured and unsecured business term loans, is what they're mostly referred as. And these can be short, medium, and long. And I won't get too specific into them, but short, it can be maybe from 3 to 18, 4 to 24 months, medium, 2+ years, 2 to 5, and then long can be like 5 to 10, somewhat like that. But secured require collateral. Unsecured, a lot of the times, do not require any type of collateral for higher funding amounts, especially that. And there are cases where they will if it needs to be, but that's unsecured. And so many people want these. So many people want the SBA loans. Right? If you've been keeping track of it, the SBA or the SBA ADL is one of the most popular ones with low, these monthly payments, these lower interests and longer terms, is what a lot of us have been programmed to believe is the identity. And especially if you try to get through a bank, that's what you are expecting. So now why should it be any different when you find out that these SBA loans have similar kind of, not exact guidelines, but you can kind of get that more or less. with the terms and the rates. So a lot of you focus on these SBA IDLs, and at the time of me making this video, it has completely been shut down for people to go and apply. People are still going through reconsiderations, the whole appeal phase. And I have content on all SBA, EIDL, and especially so much more that I'll link to down below in the description for you to check out if you're currently in that process. And if you are, and you're looking for an alternative or something to add on top of that, then I recommend these business term loans, as I just mentioned, that are unsecured for no collateral. And then you have companies like merchant cash advance companies. So it all depends on how much you're seeking, and it depends on the qualifications on, again, what you can qualify for and their requirements and how much funding you want, right? We look at the time in business, the credit score, the revenue. We look at sufficient cash flow. It has to be stable. That's best that we look at. On a trajectory going up is even better, because maybe we might give you more depending on other things, again, like time in business, credit score, and a few things in the background that you don't always get to see. But I do talk a lot about that in this channel. But one great solution is coming here through a program called David Allen Capital Inc., where you can get up to $2 million incredibly fast funding for your truck business, your food truck business. And you can use this for, repairs. You want to get an extra vehicle. You want to get some type of equipment. Maybe something broke down on you. You have more to take on. Maybe you want to use it for marketing purposes, and the list can go on and on. David Allen Capital Inc., where you can get up to $2 million incredibly fast and approval within a day, funds deposited within 1 to 2 days, as much as a week, depending on your file. And we can even get you up to 25,000 same day instant approval with the Bank Breezy program that they have. It's unparalleled. There's nothing else out there like this. How does it work? Very quickly, in a general view, just do 5,000 plus per month in bank revenue, business checking account, 6 months in business of 150 plus FICO credit score, and all industries are included. And I won't go into it so specifically, but check this out down below in the description to get started. They have a partnership with one of the leading MCAs in the space with Biddy Advance. And I'll have all the details for you, understanding how this one company works, what to look out for, how they're different, and so forth. But they're generally 50% less expensive. And that same day instant approval up to 25,000. And if you needed more, you can do the DAC, the other one, where you can get up to 2 million. There are certain requirements for that. But there are these different types of business loans you can get for a food truck. Like I just mentioned very shortly, you get unsecured business term loans that may offer you these monthly payments with longer terms. But you're seeing a more medium to high interest rates. You're going to always get these medium to high interest rates with private lenders, alternative lending online. It's just a very common thing, and it's something you got to get out of your own head, because I know the feeling, having to go through it myself. I know the pains that you must be going through or must be even thinking right now. Maybe you've gotten one before. You're like, well, I can't pay it all back like this. You have to look at it this way. Does the benefit exceed the repayment? And if so, then it makes sense to move forward with it. If not, you'll never approve of the funding you're going to get with the terms and then the types of payments. Not everything is monthly. There are times where it has to be daily and weekly, and you may not qualify for something else, or you do, and it just doesn't make sense. And I tell this to a lot of businesses and the business owners, that if you don't get everything you want in one shot, you can always come back and add more funds, receive funds time and time again, so you can get to that goal. But you got to look at it differently, and so many people don't. And it's your business, and if you feel like you really needed it, you would take it. But there's merchant cash advances, like a David Allen Capital. They don't specifically operate as a traditional MCA, and I won't get too specific into what an MCA is if this is the first time you're hearing it. But this will be down below in the description, generally 50% less expensive. There are business lines of credit where you can, you don't get a lump sum. Well, you can get approved for a good amount, but you only want to use a little bit when you want. Maybe there's a seasonal thing. Maybe there's just a repair. Maybe it's just for emergency fund, similar to working capital lump sum. Instead, you can take a little bit out of the account that you get approved for, and you only pay interest on that. So that's a line of credit, and I'll have these options for you, as well as many other ones. The SBA 7As, the 504s, even the EIDL updates, if anything changes. PPP to an extent, even though we know right now is the time of me making this has been shut down. But business term loans, MCAs, micro loans, and if you're just a startup, look for the grant programs, look for the startup funding. And it's always a difficult task to get a business who has no revenue, no time in business, any kind of startup funding, because you're a very high risk company. You just don't have the credentials. You don't have the proof for a lender to give you their money what's to think you're going to go into a default, or you're not going to be able to pay that at all? And now they're left with nothing. They don't even have some kind of a collateral, huge collateral that they may have wanted to take on. And a lot of times you see personal guarantees, which is a very common thing. So that's something to be expected, and you should just always run with that, because that's always going to be like most of the time on the table. There are alternatives, building business credit, where you can get access to over 250,000 in funding that's not tied to your social security number or your personal credit score. If you want to learn how to build business credit, that's a little bit more of a longer process, but in time that can give you access to it. Look down below in the description for that video series. And for all other information, you can also submit a funding contact form like this. Similarly, it might change a little bit, but a lot of people do this. And what I'll see is in my email, I'll be able to evaluate, analyze, and give you a correct response. It might be very thorough, it might be short, depending on how you answer. And sometimes we got to draw out the emails a little bit more. And this way I can understand your business a little bit better and what you're looking for in terms of funding amount, the monthly sales, does it make sense to get you that amount, the FICO, the time in business, as well as other things in there. So make sure to look up DAC down below in the description, and all other business loan content. There, again, are expectations to all of this. I just want you to understand that the SBA has set an expectation that you have to have these monthly, longer, low interest. It's not always the case. And I always recommend you take what you can get, because if that'll keep you stable and that'll also increase your profits, then it makes sense. And then the type of payment and then the type of interest you're getting, it won't always bother you. And it shouldn't bother you in that case, as well as I've talked to many businesses and I've been through this myself. So that'll be everything in this video. Make sure to look for all the information down below in the description to get started. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them for me. And then if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And also click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos I'll be coming out with. Thanks. Bye.